Hey, what's up, collecting crew? Welcome. I'm Jay Feezy, and this is Hot Talk episode 42. Yep, 42. So another one of my continuation catch-up videos. This is what part 2 of that, right? So another Star Wars, all Star Wars figures on this one. Hot Toys, all Star Wars, all the time. Okay, maybe not all the time, but for these next couple of episodes, and I think actually even the next one's going to be another all Star Wars one as well. And then we'll kind of go back to switching up. But yeah, for you Star Wars lovers, like I said before, man, it's yeah, eating good in the month of May, right? So as I'm recording this, let's see, July 13th, but the figures I'll be going over are a couple of months old, right? So like I said, I'm doing a little catch up, but as usual, timestamps will be in the description below. If you want to jump to any of the figures that I discuss here, feel free to check that out and jump around. You know, get out your seat and jump around and to any of those figures that you that pique your interest there. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it, because yeah, I got some announcements and some releases, and I try to do about half and half here. So first up, man, this one, a lot of collectors here were anticipating and speculating that that we were going to get, since we've only got one version of this, but this is the Qui-Gon Jinn from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So we have two different versions, right? A sculpted hair version and an artisan version. Yeah, and again, another one of the collectors were speculating, or at least hoping, would be Hot Toys would make in an artisan version, right? Because he has the long hair, of course, so it would make sense if Hot Toys did an artisan version. So going over the announcements first, as usual. So this was announced beginning of May 2026, set to come out Q2, Q3 of next year, 2027. So the sculpted version, or the slash collected version, is $295 USD. The artisan edition is $405 USD, and that was limited to 3,000. And I say limited, or I say was, because of course it is already sold out. So hopefully all of you who wanted to collect an artisan edition got one, were able to get one. And if not, for those of you that missed out, man, I'm sorry to hear if you did. But hopefully you got on that wait list, and hopefully it converts for you, because I know it's, yeah, definitely worth trying. So get on that conversion, that wait list, and hopefully it converts for you. Standing a little over 12.5 inches, so 32 centimeters, 30 points of articulation. Newly developed head sculpt. Let me go ahead and zoom in on as I go over the accessories here. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so I can so you can kind of see what I'm referring to here. Actually, I think most, if not all, I believe actually all the accessories here are the same from the 1.0 version, which I will compare here in a minute. But for those of you that aren't familiar with this, so 8 hands included with this figure. You have a poncho with weathering effects that does have a bendable wire embedded in it. His Jedi robe, which also has a bendy wire in it. A leather-like microfiber utility belt, though. So there's that. And also leather-like microfiber material boots, right? So they don't... I'm not sure if they're pleather. I don't know. I think Hot Toys, from what I understand lately, has not been using pleather. And seems like they've been switching to this microfiber material. Not sure what the verdict is on that, but let me know in the comments if you already experienced some figures that have some of this microfiber material and how that's been holding up for you. I mean, it's still newish, so I don't know if you can even mention that or kind of share your experience with that. But for those of you who have whatever insights, can provide that for other collectors, I'm sure that would be helpful. Traditional, typical lightsaber weapon for a Jedi, right? So green, 2 lightsaber hilts, 1 USB powered and 1 non-USB powered. You have your dynamic blades and your static blades, right, as you can see there. So that's what we've been getting with the Jedis recently. He'll have his comlink, a liquid cable. So it's a liquid cable launcher, which is a grappling hook. I noticed they changed that from the previous 1.0 version. The Yoda hologram, Mace Windu hologram, the Naboo Royal Starship hologram, the image caster, and a rectangular figure stand here, the traditional Star Wars one that does come with the logo and the Star Wars logo on the nameplate here. Sorry, I'm just kind of making sure, because I'm looking at the photos here and it looks like there's a, okay, no, initially I thought that was a swap out like a graphics card they give you with some of the Star Wars releases, but this one's just, I think that's just the way the floor is painted here on this one. But yeah, so I believe pretty basic. We'll gonna go through some of these photos here as far as like the accessories and what it comes with. Here's the 3 different holograms you have with the image caster. Yeah, 3 interchangeable holograms. The starship, Mace Windu, and Yoda, and the different styles here with his robe and Jedi robe and his poncho, and then without just his basic tunic kind of style here. And then yeah, this head sculpt is looking great. I think that looks like him personally. Texture in the forehead and throughout the face, the wrinkles. Yeah, this definitely looks good. This looks good. So again, as usual, but hopefully it stays that way. Usually it doesn't, but either way, even if it's like a slight decrease, I think it'll still be good here. Yeah, kind of going through these photos, this does look good. I don't personally have the 1.0, but yeah, I don't know if though it's worth upgrading to get this one. I mean, I think for the most part the head sculpt is just, and the paint are updated. The head sculpts might be slightly updated. Again, we'll take a look at the comparisons from the 1.0 to this one on the head sculpts and see what's changed, as well as the overall suit, or the overall the look of Qui-Gon here. So yeah, let me go ahead and jump over to that now actually. So here are the head sculpts here. So the 1.0, which was the MMS 525 that came out in 2020, is on the left. And note this is the prototype version here shown of the 1.0. I wasn't able to find a one for general use for a final head sculpt, because Hot Toys wasn't doing blogger photos during that time. So, but I just figured I'd give you just a photo for comparison here. So you have the one on the left here, and this prototype of this newest one, MMS 880, on the right here, set to, like I said, come out in 2027. And you can, so it looks like the head sculpts are slightly different, more wrinkles for sure on the forehead. But again, I don't know if that's just because, no, well, these are kind of both prototypes there. So the eyebrows looks a little more refined here comparing the two. The facial hair maybe looks slightly different. And then of course the paint. But overall, yeah, I think even if you still have the 1.0, I personally think that still looks a good figure. But again, you guys let me know if that does hold up. I don't have either. I'm not planning on getting this one either, so it's just not one of those figures that is a must-have for me personally. But yeah, just for comparison, just for reference for you collectors who are curious. But all right, and then going on to the overall look here, comparing the two, yeah, pretty similar. The pants look to be lighter brown, like a more like burgundy-ish brown on this newer one, and then the 1.0 is a darker brown, just based on these prototype photos here, comparing the two. But yeah, overall pretty similar look, right? So again, they're both going for episode 1, which is unfortunately his only appearance in the movies, in the Star Wars movies. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll get a flashback or something in the future. Some prequel, not prequel children, but prequel series or prequel movies with Qui-Gon in them. We have not seen that yet, right? Not that I can remember off the top of my head. And then this other slide here, I wanted to put together for reference for you all collectors who don't have either version, and also to show, yeah, the accessories are, from what I've seen, they're pretty similar, or exactly the same. Maybe, I don't know if there's slight differences in the sculpt of any accessories, but generally they're pretty. I think they're the exact same here. I was looking at the description of the previous one as well, the MMS. What is that? The 525. And yeah, that one also comes with 8 hands. The accessories are labeled differently in the description, but they're pretty much the same, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why. I don't know if they made if Hot Toys made some corrections to what they initially called them. Like for instance, they have in the previous Qui-Gon they labeled it a grappling hook, right? But in this newest one they called it a liquid cable launcher. So yeah, I don't know if that's a typo or what. I'm not sure what the deal is. That, or they got clarification on that. I'm not that in depth on the Star Wars lore if that's actually accurate. I mean, it just looks like a grappling hook, so I just call it that. Yeah, everything else is pretty much the same from what I can see. So yeah, let me know if any of you eagle-eyed fans, hardcore Qui-Gon Jinn fans, know the differences, can spot any differences here between the two, accessory wise or figure wise, and yeah, put that in the comments please for others collectors who may be curious. on this one. But yeah, that's Qui-Gon Jinn from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even go over the Artisan before I just caught myself here. Let me go ahead and show some of these Artisan photos here. So here we go. Here's the Artisan sculpt. I'm pretty sure people are probably going to criticize this hairline here, which, I mean, yeah, I think it could probably use some work here. I mean, it is a little on the obvious side, but yeah, I know Hot Toys has been getting criticisms on that also, but you know, we'll see. As always, we'll see what it looks like when it comes out, what the final looks like. Hopefully that gets improved. But no, again, nonetheless, the sculpt itself and I think it looks good here overall. We got a photo here of him and Darth Maul. But yeah, Artisan or sculpted, just again for reference. Hopefully, if you're able to get that Artisan and you missed out, and hopefully that waitlist converts for you. If not, the sculpted is still there. Okay, going on to the next figure. You know, of course, if you have Qui-Gon Jinn, you may want to have someone to pair with him. And who else better than this guy here, Darth Maul? Yes, the red and black scoundrel. I don't know if that's what they actually call him, but no, but I'm sure they don't. I just made it up. But technically, this is from Maul, Shadow Lord, not from Episode 1, Phantom Menace. There is a Darth Maul 2.0 from Phantom Menace that actually I will compare this to for the head sculpt, so we'll take a look at that. But this is specifically labeled Shadow Lord from the Disney Plus show that came out recently. So this one here, let me go ahead and zoom in on the accessories again. Accessorize. Let's see. So Maul Shadow Lord, this is the Team S187, announced end of April of 2026. Also set to come out Q2, Q3 2027. $280, standing just under 11.5 inches, so 29 centimeters. 30 points of articulation though. Let's see here. So 2 head sculpts. So one determined expression and one snarling expression. Both have separate rolling eyes. Let's see here. I already mentioned 3 points. 6 gloved hands and 4 non-gloved hands. So you get a total of 10 hands there, which is awesome. Nice plethora of hands. Let's see, a black colored robe with bendable wire in the hood. Only in the hood apparently, so it's a bendable wire in the hood section. Leather-like microfiber material belt, also just similar to Qui-Gon. Let's see, 3 utility belts with 2 lightsaber hilts. Leather-like microfiber material long boots again. Double-bladed lightsaber. Single-bladed lightsaber. So you get double-bladed, single-bladed, both USB powered and non-USB powered. So you get 2 sets of those. There's another double-bladed lightsaber that can be split into 2 single-bladed lightsabers, right? So you have, what is that? 3? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So double-bladed, single-bladed, then okay, yeah, and then another single-bladed lightsaber hilt that's, like I mentioned, non-powered. So yeah, the non-powered USB double-bladed lightsaber. I mean, sorry, the non-powered double-bladed lightsaber can be split into 2. So it makes sense. Pair of the red lightsaber blades. So you get static and newly developed dynamic blades. So newly developed being that these, we'll look at some photos here where the lightsaber blades do have like the edges kind of carved out to them, so it has some more of a swooshing effect, which actually look pretty badass. So we'll take a look at those. But either way, you can put those on any of the hilts, both the dynamic and static lightsaber blades, the red blades, the traditional color of the Sith. And then a rectangular stand, the Star Wars typical rectangular stand that Star Wars figures been coming out with recently. Hot Toys Star Wars figures. This one doesn't have any design. It looks pretty simplistic, pretty basic. So yeah, that's I don't know if that's going to be to the disappointment of collectors, some collectors out there, or even if you use them, and if you don't, then I guess it wouldn't matter. But yeah, let me go through some of these announcement prototype photos here. And yeah, here's this photo showing off the effect and this kind of jagged cutout dynamic blade effect, which yeah, just more like a flame kind of in swirling motion. That looks awesome. So I'm glad they went with this route, and maybe we'll see more. This will be like the norm now for Sith, I guess, in this case, because it's red. But I wonder if we'll see more Jedi with this effect here, or just Jedi from going forward in the future with that effect. The different styles, the quote-unquote 4 display styles, which actually seem kind of cool here. So you have just the exposed torso here, right? And then I remember, again, I'm sure to some collectors' disappointment, there's some exposable joints here. If you do go with this option with the exposed upper torso, he doesn't have anything seamless from the shoulders or the elbows. Then you can just throw on his poncho or his hood, and then you can throw on his what do they call this? His like tunic and standard garb here, and then you can just go for the full-on all clothing look where everything's just on tunic, shirt, and robe. So yeah, I mean, that is more of like I do like that option there, that make it available, you know, because sometimes that Hot Toys puts on in their instructions that some clothing is not intended to be removed, which, I mean, you technically can, but there's a risk of some sort of damage to the clothing or the figure. But here they made it more accessible, so that's cool to see. And then here are the 2 interchangeable head sculpts, the determined one on top, and then the kind of like the more yellow, snarling, menacing, yelling one here on the bottom. Again, each has rolling eyes, so it's awesome to give you 2 head sculpts here again. And then here he is fighting, I'm blanking on his name, Barack. I was going to say Barack Obama. No, Barack. Because I know we kind of joke about his name being Barack Obama, but Barack, yeah. And it is Barack, by the way. I do remember them saying, Shin Hati said his name, Hati said his name in the Ahsoka show. She did call him Barack. She pronounced it with that accent. She kind of like Frenched it up there. But yeah, Darth Maul here. He does look cool. I was debating on getting this one just because I do have like the 2.0 Phantom Menace Maul that I mentioned earlier. But and so but I've been thinking about getting this one to pair with my Savage Opress. And I really did like this show too. I actually loved it. So it's really cool. This Darth Maul looks cool. And there, we did get a Clone Wars Darth Maul from Hot Toys, and I will make that comparison here to kind of show their overall looks between those two, and the head sculpts as well. But yeah, this Darth Maul also looks cool. If you have him fully clothed, of course, you won't be able to see the joints, so that really won't be an issue for me. I don't think I'll have him without the exposed semi-nude upper body here. But yeah, this looks badass. All right, so speaking of, let me go ahead and switch over to the Maul comparison. So here we got on the left, this is the head sculpts, episode 1 2.0 head sculpt that I was mentioning here on the MMS 748. So initially I think some others had mentioned this too, that there was potentially reuse of that head sculpt, but based on the photos I was seeing, the 2.0 looks a little more like kind of roundish, kind of like it has some like weight to it, whereas this Maul Shadow Lord is a little more like elongated, kind of like stretched out, right? It's not as round, and so I mean, which is accurate to the show from what I recall. Even in Clone Wars, he had more of like an elongated head, and then the Maul 2.0 has it was more round, kind of trying to replicate Ray Park's his likeness, right? Because that's who played Darth Maul in the movie. So yeah, and that was released 2025, that episode 1 2.0 Maul MMS 748, and this is again the TMS 187 from Maul Shadow Lord, set to release next year. And I only compared these head sculpts because that was the head sculpts that for these two here, they both each came with this snarling head sculpt, right? And so we'll compare. I just realized I didn't get my slides in the right order, but I'll just jump to it here. And so this next one, though, what am I doing? Just jacking it all up here. Okay, here we go. Let me just switch over. Here we go. So this is the one here where I was comparing all the neutral determined head sculpts, quote unquote determined, right? So here on the far left, that's the head sculpt and the only head sculpt that came with the Clone Wars Maul that came out in 2020, and that was MMS. Oh, I gotta even update I gotta update this the number here. It's not MMS 740. I think I just copied and pasted and I forgot to change that. So yeah, correction on that. I will get that updated. But anyways, that's the Clone Wars Maul there on the far left. And then this is again the Maul, comparing the neutral sculpt, the determined sculpt in the Maul from the episode 1, Maul 2.0 from episode 1 here in the middle, and then the neutral determined look for this latest Shadow Lord Maul here on the far right. So yeah, again, just to kind of give you a comparison, man, that one on the far left, yeah, I do recall collectors saying how bad that one was. Yeah, I mean, but it is, although yeah, there's not really a likeness in the Clone Wars because it was obviously an animated version of Maul, but I don't, maybe they tried to go for that situation where it's like half realistic, half animated, but just like the look didn't work. In my opinion, I don't know. Some of you may have may end up liking that Maul, and you know, yeah. Again, no shade on those collectors who enjoy that one, but I'm just, to me, it just didn't. I don't know. It just kind of missed a mark for me personally. I mean, regardless, I don't have it anyway. So, like I said, I got this 2.0, the Maul from episode 1 here in the middle. But yeah, so that's the head sculpts, and then comparing the bodies to the Clone Wars. So the Clone Wars, the Maul from the Clone Wars, like I mentioned, to the Maul from the Shadow Lord. Maybe I'm thinking now, like I got the Maul 2.0 MMS number incorrect. Either way, I'll correct it and I'll post it on my social media on IG and Facebook. But yeah, so Clone Wars on the left and then Shadow Lord here on the right. They're pretty similar. The pants look a little darker here on the Shadow Lord, and I'm not sure if that's accurate to the show of Shadow Lord. I don't know if like his because obviously there was some time that passed between Clone Wars and Shadow Lord, so I don't know if his clothing, his color like changed at all. I'm sure they did, right? It would just make sense. He wouldn't be wearing the same thing like all those years, the same exact clothes. He only has that one pair, that one set. But yeah, no, again, just for reference, to give you an idea, just what the difference is, in case you some of you collectors were wondering on the appearance there. All right, so yeah, that was Maul, Shadow Lord, Maul from the Shadow Lord series, I should say. Going on to the next announcement, jumping from those two rivalries, Qui-Gon and Maul, starting off with the next Sith Lord here, Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker. This is the concept art Anakin Skywalker, based on, let's see, what was this based on? Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, right? And so there's a photo in here. I think that Hot Toys included, which is cool, that what it's based on. But this is an Artisan, another Anakin Artisan, MMS 882. This was announced at the beginning of May 2026, also set to come out Q2, Q3 of next year, 2027. Price was $405 USD. Of course, it was an Artisan, so it was limited to 3,000, and it has sold out. Since sold out last I checked. Height is standing just over 12 inches, so 31 centimeters, 30 points of articulation again, so well articulated here. Let me zoom in for you folks so you can get a closer, better look while I go through these. On the accessories, so 2 pairs of interchangeable eyes, blue for the light side, and a pair of Sith yellow colored eyes, which they did. Hot Toys has done that already, and I forget, it was like a previous Artisan Anakin, and I forget, there's like so many. I'm already forgetting which ones were which, but I know they've done that before. So I think this will probably be the second time they've done this. Dark brown implanted mid-length hair. It's a curly hairstyle, wool material, of course. 8 gloved hands. Let's see, a dark reddish. Let's see, a black robe with a dark reddish purple covered lining that you can we'll see in some of these photos. You can kind of see it already here. I know some people are calling him Count Chocula, or just some on the count that he looks like a vampire. Just Count Anakin. Or I guess he wouldn't have to be a vampire. He could just be a count, right? He can be a count with like Dooku, right? He's a count. He's not a vampire. Let's see. So lightsaber hilts, of course. You get the traditional lightsaber hilts, USB and non-USB. I just noticed now, though, it says white light here in the description, unless I copied it wrong. But I'm pretty sure I just copied it from the website. So maybe that's a typo. So it would obviously be blue and red, right? So blue when he was still good, or even when he's first transitioned, and then until he became Darth Vader, and or he got Dooku's hilt here. No, actually, they still look like, yeah. I don't see Dooku's hilts on there. So, yeah, just I guess these are the two different hilts that he had. One is Darth Vader and one is Anakin. Either way, you get the typical one USB powered, one non-USB powered, blue blade in motion, blue static, and then same thing for the red static and dynamic blade in motion. Round, no, what does it keep saying? Yeah, this one has a round base. So this is a round kind of base that has like a gear type of shape on the outside. It has like those teeth around the edge of the that rounded base. So that's this is the other type of Star Wars base that Hot Toys uses. So I forget who else. There's some other actually upcoming figures that have this base, but I know this is another one they've used before. We'll go through some of these photos here. This one I'm personally not into, but those who are big Anakin fans and just want everything Anakin, want all the Anakins, which there are a lot of. You know, shout out to you all here. Here's the concept art, which I think looks cool. So I see what they're going for. I do have. Well, let me double check here. I think I have a. I think I may have covered this. I'm confusing my hot talks. Yeah, there was another previous slide where. Oh no, it was the Wolverine pool episode of Hot Talk where I went over the concept arts, because that was the Wolverine pool was another concept art from obviously Deadpool and Wolverine. And so Hot Toys is. It's cool that Hot Toys is doing some figures based on concept art from either movies or TV. So far, I think it's all been movies. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I know collectors don't typically like figures that haven't appeared in movies or TV show, or haven't been in any type of entertainment media. But I like that they do something different and they just kind of switch it up, right? So I know this won't be for everybody, but including me, I won't get it. But I just appreciate the fact that they're kind of doing something different, right? They're just kind of always mixing up. I know collectors are always asking for different things. Usually it's different IP, but still, it's like this is out of the norm for what we've been seeing. So yeah, that hairdo though, man, it's yeah, I can't even imagine that this. I wouldn't be able to take him seriously though if this come out in the movie, like just like the haircut. Just I don't know the background on this look or the intention or what, but yeah, I'm sure some of you collectors know more than I do about this one. But no, like I said, it is interesting that they're putting this out, and yeah, congrats to all you fans who were asking for this one, who knew of this and wanted this Anakin. Hopefully you're able to grab it. And again, same thing. Get on that wait list if you're interested, and hopefully that converts to you. Yeah, good luck to you all. So yeah, that was Anakin Skywalker concept art from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. All right, well, Anakin, as we all know, eventually did have some offspring. He had a daughter and a son, which brings us to Luke Skywalker here, Shadows of the Empire. This is not an Artisan, but it is a Hot Toys exclusive, right? And this is based on there's like a novel or a comic book. This was also made into a game, I believe. I didn't read or play any of those, so I'm not too familiar with this. I know of Shadows of the Empire, but yeah, I never read the novels on this. But yeah, Hot Toys again went out and made a figure, and I know for them it's not that difficult, right? They just take one of the Lukes that they already have and reuse some parts. You know what? I just remembered. I forgot to go back. So sorry. Pause on this. Pause on Luke. Let's go back. And dang it, I had lined up that segue and everything. Damn it. Okay. Anyways, here we go. I just realized I forgot to do the comparisons for Anakin. And then I've posted this or different variations of this on my social media as well. I know for collectors to reference, and hopefully it's helpful. So I just kind of modified it here slightly. These are the Artisan Anakins that Hot Toys has released so far. I think I got them all here. Let me double check here. I think this is all of them, right? So yeah, this is including this one. This makes 4. If I'm forgetting one, yeah, apologies. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. But here on the far left, we have the DX34 Anakin. That was from Episode 3. This is the light side that was released in 2025. Second from the left is the DX47 Artisan. That's the Darth Vader Sith Apprentice, also 2025. And then earlier this year, Hot Toys put up for announcement this other Darth Vader, the Mustafar version of Anakin, the Artisan Anakin, also from Episode 3. That has yet to be released as of this recording. Again, this is July 13th. So I don't think that one's released here, but yeah, they labeled that one the Mustafar version there. And then now we have this newly announced Anakin concept art also from Episode. So 3 Anakins here on the screen labeled Episode 3. So from for all you Anakin fans, no shortage of Episode 3 Anakins. And then that's not to mention the other ones that we received from like Clone Wars, the Ahsoka show, and the other films, the previous 2 films. Yeah, there's a good amount there. There's a good amount of Anakins. So I'm sure one of those Anakins will tickle your fancy. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Something to note: the Darth Vader Sith Apprentice, which is the second from the left. That was a Star Wars Celebration exclusive from Japan. That's when Star Wars Celebration was in Japan that year. Was it 2025? Last year? Yeah. So. I don't recall Hot Toys putting this up for public sale. I think it was only exclusive to that convention. So unfortunately, if you weren't there, then you weren't able to get it. So hopefully, those of you who had your ways were able to get that. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's accurate. I think it was only available there in person at Star Wars Celebration. Okay, now fast forwarding, going back to. Luke Skywalker here. Now, yeah, let's pretend I just transitioned to that like I initially did. We'll call it good. So yeah, Luke Skywalker here. Let's see here. This is CMS. Okay, yeah, so CMS 35. So this is based on the comic version, or the comic Shadows of the Empire here. Announced middle of May, so May 12, 2026. And I think this was set to come out Q1 and Q2 of 2027. Unfortunately, it is waitlisted, so I missed what the date is on that. But let me know in the comments, or let other collectors know in the comments if that's not accurate. I believe it's Q1 and Q2 2027. So I'm not entirely sure on that. So for sure sometime next year, 2027. This was $270 USD, and like I said, it was exclusive and limited to 2,500. And unfortunately, it is waitlisted. But again, get on that wait list if you are interested in getting this Luke here. Height, Luke is obviously a little shorter than others. He's standing at 11 inches, so 28 centimeters, 30 points of articulation. He will have rolling eyes, of course. He better have rolling eyes with figures nowadays, right? I like how Hot Toys put this: meticulously sculpted brown mid-length mop top hairstyle, right? So Luke rocking that mop top here. 3 pieces, 3 interchangeable gloved hands, and 5 interchangeable left non-gloved hands. So total of 8 hands there. Man, like I mentioned before, leather-like microfiber material in the previous figures, and this one's gonna have it too, on the belts and with the let's see here, belts and the boots. Yep, belts and boots. So this one comes with 2 belts. So he has, let's see, a black colored belt with the silver buckle, and then a brown colored belt also with the silver buckle. Other than that, I don't see any differences between the two. The black colored belt has the cream yellow colored pouches, and the brown colored belt has the brown colored pouches there. And so he does have them. Does he have them both at the same time? It looks like he does. Let me see here. Oh, dang. Sorry, y'all. If you just got an eyeful of Luke's crotch there. Oh, well, no, that's even if I zoom out. I thought it was because I was zoomed in. Even if I zoom out, it's no, that was intentional. There it is. Yep, front and center. But yeah, okay, here's the 2 interchangeable belts there that they're showing you. So it says cream color. That looks more like it's just brown. And the other one definitely looks black. And then I don't see a silver belt buckle per the description. It's, silver colored buckle. But these buckles look black here in this photo. Oh, and then I see the cream colored. Oh no. Yeah, no, I'm mistaken. No, I read it right. Okay, no, it was the pouches that were cream colored. Yes, the black belt with the cream colored pouches, and the brown belt with the brown pouches. Yeah, okay, gotcha. No, we're all good. All is right in the world now. All right, separate rolling eyes, of course. Like I said, we're going through some of these photos here. There he is with the mop top there, showing that off. School photo. No, that's not a school photo. He looks more like intense, like he's not posing. He means business. A lot of collectors have mentioned that you can possibly just get this one, remove the vest that he has here. You just have this, let's see, what are they? I would just say yellow. I'll just call it yellow. I don't know if there's like an actual, if they had like a kind of interesting, unique color name for this vest, but looks like they don't here. But yeah, we'll just call it yellow vest. That you can remove that and you can have a Return of the Jedi Luke, which is actually a good idea. And if I didn't already have the Mando Luke to kind of fill in as my Return of the Jedi Luke, then I would definitely, yeah, went this route. Because yeah, I can definitely see that. That has more of, this is more similar to his Return of the Jedi look, which, oh man, I love. That's my favorite Star Wars movie, my favorite version of Luke. And yeah, but like I said, I got the Mando, the Luke Skywalker from the Mandalorian show, and yeah, I love that one. And plus, it came with the Dark Trooper, the crushed Dark Trooper, which was awesome. So yeah, I'm happy with, I'm good with what I have. So needless to say, I personally passed on this one. But again, for those of you who were able to score it, congrats. For those of you that missed it, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're able to get on that waitlist and that converts for you. So good luck again if that's the case. Good luck. Good Luke. Sorry, bad pun. All right. Let's see. I think I do have some comparisons on this one. Make sure I remember this time. Oh yeah, let me finish with the accessories. I just realized I didn't. Let me go back real quick here to the accessories. Again, typical lightsaber accessories, right? The USB powered hilt and non-USB powered dynamic and static green blades. His DL-18 blaster pistol and the round Star Wars base that I mentioned earlier. Actually, come to think about it, now that I'm looking, I think this might be the same one that the concept Anakin has, and I just realized I just closed the previous photo, so damn it, I don't have it. But yeah, it looks to be. I mean, the actual sculpt is the same. I think the colors might be the same too. I could be mistaken, but either way, yeah, it's the same. Looks like it's the same type of base. Maybe if nothing else, a slightly different cover, but yeah. So there's some consistency there between those two. But I know if you're comparing that, if you're pairing that with like a figure that has the rectangular base, it's definitely going to be off there. That's even if you use the bases. Yeah, and so yeah, that rounds out Luke and his accessories there. That is cool. You do have the interchangeable belt, so I do like that. Although, again, I don't know. We'll see how long this new microfiber material they're using will last. You know, compared to the pleather. I don't know which. Only time will tell, right? Which one is better there. Okay, so let's see for Luke. Where are we at? Let me go ahead and go. Let's do some comparisons here. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, switching over to the Luke comparisons. All right, so the most recent, I should say, the most recent comic Luke we received was the Dark Empire Luke. Again, another one they called Count Chocula, or Count Lucula, because he did have a cape also similar to the one that Anakin came with. I think this might be a different color. I can't recall. I'm only comparing the head sculpts here, but yeah, so this is CMS 19 here on the left from Dark Empire. That's the blogger photo, and then comparing here to the prototype of the CMS 35, this for the Shadows of the Empire. And I don't think they're the same sculpt. Or you know what, maybe actually they might be. I think, you would think this wouldn't be the prototype. Maybe on the right for the Shadows, maybe that would be the final if they're using the same sculpt. But it's weird though. Looking at these photos, it looks like there's just some more detail in this Shadows of the Empire version. But that, you know, that could be the lighting and just how they lit the figure. Whereas this Dark Empire Luke on the left, the figure that I chose, I know it's not as brightly lit, so I'm not sure. But actually, yeah, look, they do seem to be the same sculpt. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below on these two. Maybe I think they are the same scope actually, but for some reason, yeah, the one on the right looks more detailed. I don't know if they got, yeah, I don't know if they're using the prototype from the Dark Empire Luke, or yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure there, but anyways, there you go. You guys, your call. You don't make your own judgments on that. Either way, I just wanted to kind of show those head sculpts there. They're pretty similar, if not the same. All right, going on to the next one here. So if some of you don't prefer a young Luke and you tell me, you know what, Feezy, I like the young Luke is okay, but I prefer old man Luke. Well, Hot Toys has got you covered with one of their latest announcements also. So for you older Luke fans, we have the Luke Skywalker from episode, what is this, episode 8. This is the Last Jedi, I think it was. I just have episode 8. I should have wrote down what it was. Yeah, I think it's the Last Jedi. Artisan, this is another Artisan here. So Luke Skywalker, Old Man Luke from episode 8, Star Wars episode 8, MMS 879. Set to come out Q2, Q3 of 2027. 405 USD, limited to 2,500. And I don't think this one was sold out. I think last I looked, I think it was still available, but now I'm curious. Now I gotta do a quick check. Sorry, let me bear with me here a second while I look that up. Let's see here. Yep, he's still available. Okay, as of what, 7/13, July 7th. July 13th, and this went up for pre-order. Like I said, like a couple, like May, I think it was. And yeah, so I don't know if it's just, I mean, it has to be just this version of Luke, right? I mean, like why a lot of people didn't feel like they need to get an Artisan version, or let alone that they just didn't like this version of Luke. I don't know, because the previous Artisans that I talked about already, like the Qui-Gon and the Anakin concept, those were already sold out. So yeah, I just take it that not a lot of collectors of Hot Toys liked this version of Luke to be or just in general, like Artisan or not. I don't know, but again, you guys tell me. I'm not sure what the deal is with this one here. I'm just looking at real quick on Anakin and just making sure, and he's not even showing up. Yes, yeah, so I think he is sold out. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. All right, let's see. Going back to this Luke though. For those of you that are interested in this version of Luke, let's see, standing again just under, what is it, 11.5 inches, so he's 11.4. Actually, he's taller here. Just notice he's taller than the previous version of Luke that I went over, the Shadows of the Empire Luke. Yeah, this one is like about half an inch. No, like just under, like about 0.4 inches taller. So this Luke is 29 centimeters. The Shadows of the Empire Luke is 28 centimeters. So it's just about a centimeter difference there. 30 points of articulation for this Luke. Newly developed Peb sculpt with rolling eyes. And yes, I will compare this to the previous Old Man Luke's that Hot Toys released. They did release a couple of them actually. So yeah, we'll take a look at those here in a minute. For this Luke, he has three interchangeable gloved right hands and 3 interchangeable non-gloved left hands. So a total of 6 hands. Newly developed LED lightsaber. This one says lightsaber hilt. So newly developed. I'm not sure what's newly developed on it. We'll see if maybe it's pointed out in the some of those photos here, but I can't recall what was newly developed about it. Again, let me know in the comments if I don't touch on it in this here in this stream, or sorry, in this video. But yeah, tip again, USB hilts, hilts, USB powered and non-USB powered. He has this blue lightsaber blade from this movie, the static and dynamic, or blades of motion, a lightning rod, orange colored rucksack with a net, twigs, rope, and water bottle, beige crossbody bag, cane, a compass, a Jedi Crusader pendant, a set of tools, and a porg and open wings gesture, which is approximately 3 centimeters tall. And then he also comes with the round base that we saw earlier that came with the concept Anakin and the Luke, the other Shadows of the Empire Luke we were just looking at. But this one has actually a different color scheme, right? So it's more of the teeth, the gear teeth on the outer edge is black, and then it looks like it has like a forest display on top, like on the floor, on the top of the base. So overall, it's like black within like a forest kind of image on the top of it there. But yeah, here's the porg with the open arms display. His rucksack, which actually all these accessories on it looks pretty cool. He has all these tools on here. What do they call them? Yeah, it just says set of tools. I feel like we've seen these tools on someone else. Maybe Tech. I don't know if these are the same tools that Tech from the Bad Batch had. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really do that comparison. I just thought of that. Right, it just came in my head right now. Yeah, the compass, the pendant. Yeah, so he has a good amount of accessories here. But let me go through some of these photos here, and two display side. Yeah, it always cracks me up when Hot Toys does this one. It has like something simple, like they have like photos to compare the different styles, but it's usually like with some simple accessory, with or without. Like here, he just has with the rucksack and without, it looks like. So yeah, all he did was just kind of pull the robe over. Yeah, it's just funny. And like I know there was another photo, I think it was tech. Speaking of tech, where they put, you know, like 3 display modes or 2 display modes, like goggles down or goggles up. So I mean, I guess yeah, it's a different display. So it just, yeah, it makes me laugh. Like he just like disappears, like it's a different person if you put the goggles up or down, or on Luke here in Luke's case, he's a different figure if you give him a rucksack or not. Wool hair implantation, like I said, this is an artisan figure, and I mentioned separate rolling eyes. I'm curious about this newly developed lightsaber hilt though. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. This is a cool pose here with him, like kind of looks like he's like in a mid running pose with this robe kind of flailing in the background. So yeah, this is a cool pose. I like the way they showed this off here. Another angle of that same pose. Yeah, really cool. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything more about this, or maybe they've always, let me go back. No, yeah, because I just looking at the previous Luke description and the Anakin concept, they don't mention, yeah, so they don't mention newly developed LED lighted lightsaber hilts there. So I'm curious what they're referring to. What's quote unquote newly developed for this lightsaber hilt? Or maybe again, I don't know if that's like it was a typo or what, but it looks the same to me. Like both USB and non-USB powered hilts there. All right, so I mentioned head sculpt comparisons, and I mentioned Hot Toys did previous versions of this old man Luke here. So switching over on the far left, so there's well, I don't know, I would say technically there's 2 similar versions to this, and then there's another version that's not really, it's like middle-aged Luke and not old man Luke. It's like middle-aged man Luke. But here on the far left we have MMS 390 from episode 7, 2017. Here on the left, that was released in 2017. Second from the left, we have the MMS 458/459, and that one was from episode 8. So I think this Artisan would be, I guess, if anything, 2.0-ish of that one. Although this newest one does have it's Artisan, right? So the previous version had sculpted here, so I don't know if you want to call it a 2.0 or a 1.5. Or just an update, or however you want to label it. But yeah, this Hot Toys did do a version of that before, so that's what we're seeing here. And then this third one here, the second from the right, I forgot they did this one, and I didn't go back and watch the sequel trilogy, like a lot of other collectors or Star Wars fans, but. And I don't recall this, but after looking at this figure, this Hot Toys figure, I didn't realize it, that this version of this MMS 507, this version of Luke from episode 8 which they labeled Crate Luke, for his appearance in that movie on the planet Crate. I think Crate was a planet. This was released in 2019, but yeah, if you can see, he looks younger. And thinking about it now, like I kind of trying to remember the events of that movie, and I think spoilers. So spoilers if you haven't seen it, just FYI for like the next 5 seconds. I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done spoiling stuff. But I do remember him going there, and then it turns out it was his Force Ghost, right? I think that was the scene where he was fighting Kylo Ren, and then it was revealed that it was his Force Ghost. So I don't know if that's why it made him look younger or not. But yeah, thumbs up. Spoilers over if you muted me real quick. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if that was the case. I don't remember that, so I mean, if it's the same movie, episode 8, you would think he would have the same look, but maybe that was a tell that I didn't catch the first time watching it, so not sure on that one. But yeah, I just threw that in there for reference to show that version, that Crate Luke from episode 8, has a different look. He looks younger compared to the others. For if any of you were in the same situation as me, and they thought that all these Lukes had the kind of like a similar look. So yeah, it was interesting. I didn't catch that until just when I was putting the slides together. And then on the far left, we have this MMS 879 from episode 8 again. set to come out 2027. All right, that was Old Man Luke for all you Old Man Luke lovers out there. Again, still available, so if you're wanting this one and you're on the fence, it's still available. You got time, but if not, you pass like I did. I'm sure this won't be the last Luke we'll get. Okay, jumping from, let's see here, from Old Man Luke to some Rebels action. Oh man, this was one I was hoping they would come out with. So next up we have Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels. Let's see here. This is, Rebels, the TV show, the animated TV show. This is TMS 172, and Hot Toys again. They took the approach of giving us more of like a realistic looking figure, but based on an animated character. And they've done that before with the Clone Wars figures, the Star Wars Clone Wars figures. So looks like they're doing the same thing here, trying to use the likeness of the actor who played, I'm forgetting his name right now, but the actor who played Ezra in the Ahsoka show, just more cleaned up here, a fresh, cleaner look of that Ezra. So May 12th, this was announced May 12th, 2026, set to come out the end of this year, Q4 of this year to Q1 of 2027. So could be as early as this year or as late as next year of Q1, unless that's if they don't delay it, right? So $300 USD. Standing just over 12 inches, so 31 centimeters, 30 points of articulation. Newly developed head sculpt with rolling eyes, of course. Yep, you got his helmeted head with weathering effects, 8 gloved hands, 8 interchangeable gloved hands. Again, leather-like microfiber material belt with the blaster holster and the lightsaber hilt holder, blaster pistol, his another lightsaber hilt, USB and non-USB powered. Again, the same story, right? We've been seeing dynamic and static green blades here. His jetpack and backplate, jetpack and backplate are magnetically attachable to the figure. So I know we've seen that before with troopers, with clone troopers and Boba Fett's. You know, that's kind of typical, right? If they have a jetpack, they've recently been magnetically attachable. 2 translucent orange-colored flame exhaust effects that attach to the backpack. Again, we've seen that with some clone troopers, I believe, and 1 or 2 or maybe more Boba Fett's. I can't remember. I know we've seen them before, so I'm pretty sure they're just reused of that. This Ezra figure will have not the circular stand that we've just seen from the past 3 figures, but this one they switched back to the rectangular stand for this one. So the plain basic rectangular stand, no graphic card or no paint on top. It looks like it's just kind of plain black rectangular base here. But the figure itself, though, oh man, this I was surprised and happy to see this. I know a lot of collectors were speculating that they would hopefully do Rebels figures, like proper Rebels figures, just because we've seen. Granted, it's from the Ahsoka show. We got Hera, Chopper. Who am I missing? We got the Sabine from the Ahsoka show, right? Tease, hint, hint. We may see another Sabine coming up here shortly. But no, actually, I think I already just covered that up. So scratch that tease. I'm jumbling my hot talks together. I think I already did cover that one, or it might be covered on the next episode. Okay, forget I even said that. You know, I'm messing up my own stuff. We got Ezra Bridger here. Let me scroll through some of these photos. Yeah, if you guys know me and you guys been watching my stuff, you know I just love figures that pop, that send out more so characters that I actually love and I like and I want to have my shelf. And I'm a big fan of Rebels. I have the figures that I mentioned already that previously came out, Hera, the previous Sabine, Chopper. I have Chopper, but not the Hot Toys Chopper. I have that Chatterback Chopper. That was that's awesome. I think that was who's done that. I don't know if that's Hasbro or Mattel. But it has lights and sounds. Anyways, regardless, I got those figures. I don't have a Zeb yet, but yeah, man. So when Ezra came out, when this was announced, I was happy, and especially the colors, man. The colors just pop. I love it. Like I said, they went based off of the the likeness of the actor. Yeah, I know, I'm tired. Of the actor who played Ezra in the Ahsoka show. That probably won't be the last mess up. You hear me jumble my words. I'll probably do it again. But yeah, oh, here's the crew. Speaking of, so the Hot Toys Chopper, and then here's the Hera from the Ahsoka show, the Zeb from the Mandalorian, and Grogu, which I believe I already covered in the previous episode of Hot Talk. So yeah, check out that channel. and that timestamp in that video if you want more information on that figure. So we don't have a Zeb from Rebels, although in that episode of Hot Talk, I think I did mention, I was speculating that we may see another version, a Rebels version of Zeb, a proper Rebels version in the future. I don't know, Hot Toys may reuse that body, that sculpt. I mean, why not, right? That's what they usually do, and it makes sense from a business standpoint, as you know, we all say and acknowledge. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another proper Rebels Zeb here. But like I said, that one's from Mandalorian Grogu. And then the Sabine that I was mentioning that I thought I was teasing, but I just backfired and messed myself up. But yeah, this was the Sabine from Rebels here on the far left. And then we do, again, there is a Sabine that came out from the Ahsoka show. And yeah, I got that one, and I'm getting this other Sabine. I love the colors on Sabine. I preferred more of the look from the Rebels show of for Sabine. But you know, I got the Ahsoka one not knowing that we were going to get this version of it, just because I thought that was the only Sabine. I mean, I still like that one. That's still the likeness on that one. That's the same likeness here, but I do like that look. But I love the colors on this one, on this Sabine, and the same from this Ezra. Going back to Ezra, I love this the orange, the different shades of orange here, and it pops. I think personally, I'm going to use just like the Sabine that I have and that I am getting. I think for Ezra, I'm going to use the helmeted look, just because for one, again, the colors, that it's awesome, man. It just completes the look. And then also, I love, as far as Stormtroopers go, I love that look for the Stormtroopers. Specifically, this is, if I'm not mistaken, based on the Scout Troopers from Return of the Jedi, the ones that were flying on the speeder bikes throughout Endor. Nerd, yeah, I know. But I have those figures as well, the Scout Trooper figures, and I love that design of the helmet. So yeah, this is like a win-win all around for me. This is kind of a no-brainer. So yeah, definitely have this coming home. Pre-ordered this. Looking forward to this one. Look at this. This looks so badass. And the jetpack. Look at this look here, with the flame effects here coming out of the jetpack and his blaster. This is awesome. This looks like a fun figure, man. Look at this. Well articulated, 30 points of articulation. No, it doesn't appear there'll be any hindrance from the clothing, because it looks to be fabric, no like rubber or vinyl or anything like that. Yeah, I don't. It looks to be like a fun posable figure. So looking forward to getting this one. All the weathering on his armor here, his armor plate, and I will have. Oh, I just noticed this too. I didn't catch that the first time, but there's like this design here on the right side of his helmet that looks like an eye from something. I'm forgetting what this is supposed to represent. But yeah, look at the way that helmet looks. Like it's all scratched up and the weathering effects on it. That looks so badass, man. This looks so good. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Whoops, went too fast on that one. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's Ezra Bridger. And for those that I know, I mentioned Rebels, but for those of you who may not have seen that yet or gotten to that point, Ezra had a couple of looks, I believe, if not more. But just to give you an idea of what this is based on, here I put this slide together here for you. So here on the left, this is the later look of Ezra Bridger here from the animated show, right, of Rebels, and then on the right is obviously the Hot Toys one, using the likeness from, like I said, the actor from the Ahsoka show. So just to kind of give you an idea what they're going for. Again, kind of going for Hot Toys, going for that typical cross, like realistic / animated style look. So like the suit is from the animated show, but the likeness is more, the realism is based on the actor there. But yeah, again, just for reference, for those of you that weren't aware. But all right, sticking with Rebels, going on to the next figure. So that was all the announcements. Switching over to the releases, we have the first of the releases, but from Rebels, we have Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Imperial armor. So this was announced, let's see here, the end of April 2026. So was that, yeah, a few months ago actually, and then it was released not too long after, because this was an exclusive limited release, and so I didn't cover this one. So I know I usually save that. I go over the details and specs for the announcements, but because I didn't go over this one and this is already released, I'll go ahead and go over the specs here for this one. Price is $270. I think this is still available actually. So like I said, exclusive. So it was limited to 2,500, standing at just over 12.5 inches. So 32 centimeters, 30 points of articulation. Let's see, head sculpt with rolling eyes, 5 hands, 5 non-gloved hands, 6 gloved hands, a set of Imperial officer battle armor. So Hot Toys did release a previous version from the Ahsoka show of Thrawn, and again, as I've been doing, I got you guys covered. I'll do the comparisons here between that Thrawn and this Thrawn there, but there was a previous version of Admiral Thrawn from the Ahsoka show. This one includes the battle armor that you can kind of see in this photo here. He has like this chest armor, and then his helmet, of course, that a lot of people were calling him Lord Helmet. Just from Spaceballs. If you guys are familiar with Spaceballs and Lord Helmet, yeah, that does. I'm not gonna lie, man, that does look like it's just painted white. It could be like his brother or something, like his Lord Helmet's brother that he just dislikes, like the Goody Two Shoes one, the one that his parents liked, the favorite, I should say. That's funny. But let's see here, white and gold colored protective helmet, so there's some gold accents on there. Torso armor, like I mentioned. So newly developed RK3 blaster pistol. Again, I'm not sure what part of that is newly developed, nor am I really familiar with the RK3 blaster. Again, if you guys are familiar with that and know the differences, please let us know in the comments for myself and other collectors, just for our knowledge and our curiosity. He also comes with a Grand Moff Tarkin miniature hologram, an Emperor Palpatine hologram, and then a miniature hologram display base. And this Thrawn comes with a rectangular Star Wars stand. So yeah, we'll go through some of these photos. You can see some of the gold accents here. These are the blogger photos, by the way, like I said, because this figure is released. There are some reviews out there, so if you want to take a look at that and get more information, details on the between the two. I don't have any of these. I personally didn't like this look for Thrawn. Again, similar to Ezra and previous Hot Toys figures that were based on animated characters, Hot Toys went for the realism here. Again, they have the likeness based on the actor from the Ahsoka show, who I believe is he's a Mikkelsen brother. I think it's Mads Mikkelsen, if I'm not mistaken, or Lars. I want to say it's Lars. Yeah, it's one of the Mikkelsen brothers. I'm sure. Yeah, you guys can confirm and let me know in the comments here. I know he's a Mikkelsen. I know that. But yeah, so Hot Toys using that likeness again here for this figure, although it is labeled or branded Rebels on the animated show. Here's the display base hologram, and then the hologram of Tarkin. The different looks, the armor is removable here. You can see here that the armor, the chest, torso armor is removable, as well as his helmet. Right, so you do have different looks here. I believe some collectors were saying how pristine his uniform is, which I think I mentioned this too in a previous episode of Hot Talk for Thrawn. There's like a joke. If for those of you familiar with the military, there's a joke that the officers' uniforms are pretty clean, because they don't really see a lot of action, or they get their hands dirty, quote unquote, right? So I guess, from that standpoint, if you know, right? If you've come from that military background or you're familiar, the joke would be that, okay, yeah, it makes sense. His uniform is clean. But yeah, different looks for him that you can have: helmet on, helmet off, upper torso armor on or off. Yeah, so you got options. You definitely got some options here. Yeah, it looks. I'm pretty sure it's the same head sculpt. We'll look at the photos here. I think I put those comparisons together, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same head sculpt here. Yeah, okay, I did do a comparison. Yeah, and you guys can judge for yourself, but I believe it is. Like I said, I don't have any of these in hand, nor do I want to get these in hand, but they look to be the same. Let's see, anything else here to point out as far as figure? No, I think other than that, everything is, like I said, believe the uniform might be a brighter shade, but yeah, I don't know. You guys, I'll let you guys be the judge here. Let's go ahead and switch over to the comparison photos here. So yeah, here on the left we have the previous Thrawn from, like I said, from the Ahsoka show that was released in 2024. That's TMS 116. And here on the right you have the Thrawn with Imperial armor from the Rebels show. That's TMS 169. So yeah, comparing the two, again, I know lighting's a factor. The one on the right, seems to be not as well lit as the one on the left. So maybe the uniforms are the same. I think everything else appears to be the same. No, actually, you know what? I do. From what I recall watching a review, there was more padding on the Ahsoka version of Thrawn, the one on the left here. There's more padding underneath the suit, and this Rebels Thrawn here has less padding. There's still some padding, I believe, but not as much. But again, that's just what I believe that's what I heard. So you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comments for those of you that have this figure or have them both and know for sure. And definitely let other collectors know if there's any other differences besides those. And of course, the armor differences, between the two. So you have that as well. Let's see here. And then head sculpts. Here we go. Yep, on the left again. The Thrawn from the Ahsoka show. On the right, the one from Rebels. And it appears to be, the same head sculpt. The paint looks to be slightly different though, I think, or at least the gloss. I think the Ahsoka one is a little more glossy, and I think I remember hearing that in a review, whereas the one in Rebels is a little more like matte, or not as glossy, not as shiny. But for the most part, to me it appears to be the same sculpt. So again, if it's not, let us know in the comments if you know for sure it's different. But Admiral Thrawn, for those of you who preferred this version, I always say, I'm always up for options. We always win as collectors when we get options. So if for some reason you didn't like the Ahsoka version and you preferred more of the Rebels look, despite him looking like I've heard it, but despite him looking like Elon Musk, if you just wanted that representation of a Rebels Thrawn, well, there you go. You got that Imperial armor look on you. So yeah, enjoy it. All right, going on to the next release, switching over from Rebels. I know there's 2 figures from Rebels, which in general, I'm just happy we're getting more Rebels figures, although I didn't personally want this figure from Rebels, this Thrawn. Switching over from Rebels to Mandalorian Grogu, continuing from the last episode, a bunch of Mandalorian Grogu figures, Hot Toys is announced and released, which makes sense, right? You want to capitalize on that hype of the movie that just came out. Was it earlier this month or last month? But we got the life-size Grogu here. So another Grogu. I think this marks the 3rd one from Hot Toys. So life-size Grogu from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. This is LMS 16 LMS. I believe is the life-size line of Hot Toys. This was announced the end of March 2026. This was released the end of April, so about a month after. 285 USD, standing at, let's see, about a little over 14 3/4 inches, so 37 centimeters. Again, it's life-size, so I presume that's accurate. 9 points of articulation, not as well articulated as like the figures, but there is some articulation there. You have the head sculpt. Again, since I didn't cover this, I'll go over the specs and the details for this figure here in this video. Head sculpt with white fiber material hair, so that's similar to the previous 2 Grogus, which we'll look at. We'll compare those. So I put that together for you all as well for your reference and your benefit. Hopefully that helps you. Specialized body made of soft vinyl material, 3 hands, so you have 3 interchangeable hands, which include an object holding left hand with the magnetic function, a wrist shooting gesture right hand, and then another force using right hand. So 2 different right hands and then 1 left hand. Like I mentioned, the wrist shooter, right? You have the wrist shooting gesture hand. You got to have the wrist shooter, so that's included, attachable to the right arm. A explosive device or a grenade, right? A futuristic Star Wars grenade with the grav charge, which is magnetically attachable to his left hand. So that's what the magnet is for in his left hand. Then you have a small grav charge explosive device. Let's see here. So you got 2. It's like 1 charge and then 1 small one. That one. So both of those are magnetically attachable. Bandolier with the pouch and the rondel. Rondel is detachable from the bandolier, and if you've seen the previous episode of Hot Talk, I didn't know during that episode or before that episode what a rondel is. I had to look it up for the 6th scale version of Grogu. So the rondel, for those of you that aren't familiar like I was, is that round armored piece on his chest. So we'll look at some photos of that, but that's called a rondel. Let's see, blue. Oh, and that is magnetically attachable to this Grogu's chest as well. So it has a magnet as well. And the blue macaroon, which is also magnetically attachable to his left hand. So you got, for Grogu's left hand, you can swap out between the explosive devices or the macaroons. So that's cool. You get those options there too, and they're magnetically attachable, so they make sure they stay. And this one does have a transparent figure stand, which I believe plugs up into his crotch, if I remember correctly from when I was watching the reviews on this. Yeah, weird place, but I mean you can't see it anyways, because if you'll put it underneath and you have his I guess what is that, his coat, his jacket covering it, you won't be able to see it. Just holds him upright, because from what I understand, he doesn't really stand on his own well without that stand. But yeah, here he is with all his accessories, his pouch, his rondel, the 2 explosive charge, the large and the small, his wrist shooter, and I don't see the macaroon. It might be in his pouch here. But yeah, these photos are cute, man. I just like looking at this figure. He does look cute. If I didn't already have, I have a Grogu that makes sounds. Like you squeeze his left hand and he makes like different sounds. I think that was the one based on the Mandalorian, and I got that like either from Walmart or something like that. It was like, you know, one of those more inexpensive ones, which was fine for me. It was cute and it made sounds, so I was all into that one. And he has like a little pouch that you can put him in. But I can't lie, man. This does look good though. I do like the way his eyes look, the way Hot Toys did the eyes. It looked very realistic, and then the fiber material hair. I mean, look at it. You have him posted up here, looking up at you with his hand, with his force using hand, or if you put a macaroon in his hand, yeah, he's definitely cute. Definitely cute. I did bloggers. Shout out to the bloggers. The blogger photographers did a good job here on putting this Grogu in different environments. Yeah, this is really cool. Look at this. This is so cute. Yeah, this is looks like a really fun figure. And here he is with spoiler/teaser, another life-size figure that was released here, paired up. But yeah, that's cute. If you have both of those, looks like it could be a lot of fun. Yep. So Mandalorian Grogu, life-size Grogu. Let's look at some comparisons. Here's a lot of. Oh yeah, here's the macaroon. There's a lot of blogger photos. Yeah, here's the macaroon that they actually include there, so that's cute. And then, but it looks like, oh, so maybe they just put. Let's see here. Let me double check on the left hand wrist shooter. Yeah, so he looks like he has. So he has these items. Sorry, I just double checked because I noticed he has this two. He has his two looks like holding hands, left and a right, and he has the explosive devices in his right hand, but then a macaroon in his left hand. But when I was reading the description, it looks like only his left hand has the magnetic function. So maybe they just okay. So yeah, maybe the other hand, it doesn't have a magnet, but you can still put stuff in it. So maybe that's what they did here. I just wanted to confirm that. But yeah, no, it does look cute. Like I mentioned, comparing the Hot Toys, this is a third one that Hot Toys came out with, the third life-size Grogu. So comparing here the previous two, on the far left, we have LMS 13 that was labeled the child, because at the time, if you remember, in the beginning or the early episodes of The Mandalorian, he just went by the child. This was before we knew his name was Grogu. So that was, I believe, Hot Toys' first life-size Grogu / child / Baby Yoda. That was released in 2021. And then we have this here in the middle, this version of Grogu, the LMS 15, that was also from the Mandalorian show. And then let me see here. Sorry, make sure I get this set up properly. Okay, yeah. So then this latest one, LMS 16 on the far right, that was just released from the Mandalorian and Grogu there. So you got options, 3 different looks. I think the eyes look pretty good in all of them. Let me see if I had some. Oh yeah, okay. I do have some notes as far as the differences, but I don't think I have. I'm just realizing here that I don't think I put up the a slide to compare the accessories, but I'll kind of mention them here. I did take some notes on those. So the child on the far left does have an articulated jaw. I was kind of confused too, because I was going through some of the photos on that. So this LMS 13, that the first life-size Grogu, I saw some photos with the mouth open and closed, and I thought it had like a swap out head sculpt. But then after watching some reviews, it turns out that Grogu does have an articulated jaw. However, I did see one review where the person mentioned that they had some issues with the chin ripping because of that articulated jaw. And it's interesting because Hot Toys did it well, where like you can't see there's no joint or seam, at least from what I was able to tell in the review. So it's all seamless, but I think because of that, whatever the material they use, maybe it wasn't as durable, and so that particular reviewer had an issue with the chin ripping on that. So just a heads up on that. That could be an issue. Of course, watch some more reviews to get more of an idea of that, and if that's more of a widespread issue. And that reviewer did say that they were doing a comparison between a couple of the other Grogus, but that first Grogu, the child, was heavier compared to the other ones. So something to consider too if you want more of a heftier Grogu that has more weight to it. The LMS 15, the one in the middle from the second one from the Mandalorian show, that one is lighter weight, like I was saying, so that's lighter compared to the first one. That one does not have an articulated jaw, so keep that in mind. However, the one in the middle here, this LMS 15, does have better head articulation. Again, based on that one review that I've seen on that. And then I would think the one on the right, I haven't seen one that compares all three of them, but I would think the one on the right, it's the third one. So hopefully it has all the pros to the previous two and some of the improvements. Although I don't think that one has the articulated jaw either. I don't recall them saying that in the reviews that I've seen for this latest one. So again, it's just something to keep in mind, just weigh your options there and do your research and take a look at more videos if you need to on those. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to kind of give you guys an overall kind of general comparison between the two. And then comparing the head sculpts here, kind of doing a close-up on the head sculpts between all three of them. The one on the far left, it does have more of like a babyish kind of like cute look. Again, that's the one with the articulated jaw. And these last two, they look to be pretty similar, maybe just painted differently. I don't know, again, if the middle one is just because of the lighting on these, but these are all blogger photos here. So these are all the final product photos. They all have that fiber material hair, so that's all there. The eyes look, really good in all three of them. So take your pick. You take your pick there. Just they look pretty similar though, but other than that articulated jaw, like I was saying on the first one, aside from that, they all look pretty good. I don't think you can lose with either of them. Let's see here. I think that's all I had on Grogu, the life-size Grogu. Yeah. All right, so we saw a tease of this and some of the photos here already, but going on to the next life-size figure that Hot Toys released, we have the Anzellan Droidsmith. Not for some reason not labeled Minch, although that's what is on the box. So Anzellan Droidsmith, aka Minch. It's weird that Hot Toys didn't put this his name in the description. I didn't see it in the description and nor in the title. They just called him Anzellan Droidsmith, but apparently on the box, on the Hot Toys box, they do call him Minch on there. So just an FYI in that. This is LMS 17. Again, like I said, it's a life-size figure. I will go over the specs here because again, I didn't go over this announcement, but this was announced at the end of March 2026 and also released a month later, actually the same time announced and released as the life-size Grogu. So 240 USD, also from the Mandalorian Grogu movie, standing at 10.6 inches, so 27 centimeters, 8 points of articulation. Head sculpt with gray eyebrows and beard. All those are fiber material, so the eyebrows and the beard and the actually there's those items there, and I think his chin, eyebrows, what am I missing? Oh, his mustache, there you go, is also fiber material. Also made of soft vinyl material, a welding torch magnetically attachable to his right hand, and a flashlight with the light up function. So battery powered, attachable to the right hand. So yeah, not too much actually. Only those two accessories: a welding torch and a flashlight. Both one magnetically attachable to the right hand. So there's a magnet in his right hand. So maybe if you want to give him something else that is magnetized, you can put that on there. Yeah, not much to say about this one. You can kind of already tell from the photos and from the review I've seen. The biggest criticism is that the body of this does look plasticky, although the paint looks to be pretty good, but it just has that plasticky look overall. I mean, no seamless joints on there, so like you can see that like in the shoulders, it's visible joints, and then the hands here, you can see the hands here definitely look plasticky. So yeah, the biggest complaint or criticism is just that for the money, it didn't seem like it was worth it. But I mean, that's just for some, right? If you collectors out there are just big Anzellan fans and you have to have a life-size Anzellan, I think this might be, well, it can't be the only option, right? There has to be other life-size Anzellans from like other companies like that are less expensive, like a Mattel, or I don't recall seeing any, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. But you would think they'd have other Anzellans, right? Because these are supposed to be like their marketing, like merchandising features, right? The Anzellans along with Grogu. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, similar to Grogu, the eyes, looking at this, they did a good job on the eyes. They look realistic. He does also look cute. So if you do want to have that companion for Grogu and reenact the bad baby scene, yep, you gotta have the Anzellan, of course, to complete that scene. No, yeah, that's cute. Another cute one. It definitely. I don't know if they. For some say that they stole the movie. Anzellan and Grogu stole the movie from Mandalorian Grogu. There's a good chunk of that, good chunk of them in there, which was cute. It was cute to see that interaction. And always cute to see those two. Yeah, again, shout out to the blogger photographers on these photos. They even look like they had fun here. Here is with the blowtorch here on his right hand. And the goggles, I don't think the goggles are removable because they didn't say that in the description. But I mean, I don't recall seeing that being done in the review. But yeah, here's Grogu. They have Grogu giving then Minch a macaroon. That's cute. Yeah, these are really good photos. Really fun. Yeah, here's some comparisons of the 6-scale versions to the life size. So yeah, here's the torch lit up. I don't know if that's edited though, like photo. Edited in post-production or not, adding some effects there. But yeah, that's Minch. All right, a couple of more here. Going on from the Anzellan, still sticking with Mandalorian Grogu, though. We got a couple more figures here from that were released. So next up, we have the Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper. Yeah, Stormtrooper, okay. MMS 836. This was announced the end of April the 21st and released not too long after. This 27th. So 6 days, another quick turnaround on this one. So there's two versions. There's the collector version and the deluxe version. The collector version is $225 USD. The deluxe is $270 USD. Let's see here, and I just realized, yeah, apologies, I didn't put the I gotta bring up those photos here, but I didn't list the differences between the two. I think for sure the deluxe has a shoulder guard on there, and you can tell them apart. We'll look at some of the blogger photos here. We'll go through these, but either way, both of them do come with 7 gloved hands. The SR-14 blaster, the 11 blaster rifle, so blaster pistol, a blaster rifle, a thermal detonator that's magnetically attachable to the utility belts, and a rectangular stand here. So here's the deluxe trooper. You can see, like I was saying, it has this like shoulder guard here. Would that still be considered a pauldron? I think a pauldron covers more of like down the shoulder. I don't know if it sticks out, or maybe it is. I don't know. You guys let me know. But yeah, this shoulder piece that makes it more legit. So it makes it more deluxe. And yeah, multiple styles here that you can see between all these Remnant Stormtroopers here from Imperial Remnant Stormtroopers. Let me just pull that up here real quick, just so I can confirm. Whoops. All right, let's see. We go through some of these photos. Yeah, and here are the two. Yeah, here's the collector and the deluxe here, the two different variations. All right, so the deluxe version, just to make sure I give you guys the right information. Okay, so the deluxe. So in addition to the blaster pistol and the blaster rifle that the standard comes with, the deluxe has those, and it also comes with a T-21 blaster rifle and then a newly developed battery rifle. So there's that. And then let's see here. In addition, the deluxe also comes with a black colored epaulet, a armband, a dark brown colored armband, a black colored shoulder bag, and then a yellowish brown colored shin guard. Okay, so that's the shin guard you see here in this photo. That comes with the deluxe here. So like this on this trooper on the right, looking at the screen here. That, or I think right here. Yeah, here going back a photo. The second trooper from the left, that comes with the deluxe. I guess the epaulette then would be that shoulder piece, right? Because that's the only, there's nothing in here that says shoulder piece or pauldron. So yeah, it's got to be that. Process of elimination. Has to be that. So yeah, that's what comes with the deluxe. And then like I mentioned earlier, the items that come with the standard or with both of those listed earlier. So there you go. You got options. You definitely have the display options here. This does look cool. I do like the tinted green lenses in this Stormtrooper and some of the weathering here. But aside from that, yeah, pretty similar to like your classic original trilogy Stormtroopers here. Yeah, really cool looking. But this is the Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper. Yeah, not much more to say about this one. Again, you trooper collectors out there, another one to add to your collection, to your army, your Imperial army. Maybe, yeah, I guess if nothing else, right, if you, those collectors out there who didn't get any of the OT, the original trilogy Stormtroopers, this could be a good fill-in, right? It just looks, it looks similar. I don't know if they're exactly the same. As far as like the helmet design, I'm sure there's some differences in there, but I mean, if you didn't mind some of the slight differences in there, I'm sure it could pass as a Stormtrooper in the background. But yeah, so Stormtrooper, and then Hot Toys also released a Snowtrooper. So every time I saw these, I always got confused between the two because they're pretty close in their naming. So there's that. This is the Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper. Hot Toys also released this Imperial Remnant Snowtrooper, also from Mandalorian and Grogu. So yeah, easy to get confused between those two here. But yeah, that's what we have here. This one, there's a look here that makes it look pretty cool. Yeah, and we'll go through some of the photos here, but we'll real quick, same announcement and release dates for the Snowtrooper. I think it was the same for the Stormtrooper. Yeah, so April, hopefully I got this right. April 21st, 2026, and then released April 27th, 2026. Price, this one's priced at $270 USD. This was standing also at 11.8 inches, so 30 centimeters. So same height as a Stormtrooper, same points of articulation. This Snowtrooper has the helmeted head with the soft plastic material mask, and it has a newly developed unmasked Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper helmeted head. So you get two different helmeted heads, one with the soft plastic material mask, and then one with the helmeted head, the unmasked Imperial Remnant Trooper, which we'll look at here in a second. 8 gloved hands, 1 grayish colored coat. I know I covered that in a previous Hot Talk where there was like a trooper that had a grayish colored, whatever that color is, with flock texture. So this will have flock texture. A blaster rifle. Okay, actually, I gotta say the numbers here to differentiate. So E11 blaster rifle, DLT-20A blaster rifle, DLT-19X targeting blaster, thermal detonator that is attachable to the belt. We've seen those before, the thermal detonators, the explosive devices. The backpack, which is magnetically attachable to the back, like I mentioned earlier, in for Ezra, right? Well, that was a jetpack, but you know what I mean. It's magnetically attachable to the back, the same concept. Newly developed mouse droid. So this one comes with the mouse droid specifically. If you're curious, you're like, hey, Feezy, what type of mouse droid? Well, it just so happens this is a MSE6 series repair droid, in case you're curious. So there you go. Thank you, Hot Toys, for putting that in the description, or else I wouldn't have been able to provide that. Let's see, newly developed remote control with 2 interchangeable antennas. So that's interesting. 2 interchangeable antennas. I didn't realize that was a thing, or that was an option Hot Toys was even considering. But I mean, hey, shout out to them for putting that option in there. Again, more options are always good. And then a rectangular snow-themed base with, of course, Star Wars logo and the character nameplate. So we'll go through some of these blogger photos here. Here's that mouse droid here, the MSE6 series to be exact, mouse droid. And here's the look here. Wait, was he in this one too? Yeah, here's the look that I was talking about. That looks badass here without the quote-unquote unmasked. It's helmeted, but it's an unmasked helmeted look. That looks cool. I like that unique design there. I don't think I've seen that before. But of course, you hardcore Star Wars fans, if this Stormtrooper made an appearance in something else, please let me and other curious, inquiring minds know. So yeah, we're aware. But not either way, it's a cool design. I much prefer that than this masked look here, the one that has like the covered front, the helmeted front look here. Yeah, so apparently that's a thin plastic. It looks to be fabric from the photos, but per the description, it says soft plastic material mask. So yeah, I'm not sure what the decision is on that. Like, could they not put some sort of material in there? But I mean, in the photos, they make it look like it's a fabric material, which, I mean, I guess if you wanted to make it look a certain way, they did a good job. I guess they nailed that. But yeah, I wonder. I haven't seen the reviews yet on this one, or maybe I did. I just didn't catch that part on how that material mask looks. But yep, the Snowtropper here. I mean, it does look good overall, though. The weathering and the different shades of white throughout, again, from the Mandalorian Grogu movie. This scene was really cool. I don't want to spoil anything, but for those of you who've seen it, you know what exactly what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But yeah, this looks cool. And here he is. Yep, here's Mando fighting one of these Snowtroopers. Really cool. Again, shout out to all you trooper collectors out there, adding another one to the army. And different display styles for this one too. I do, yeah. So you can kind of see the flock texture here. This is what did they say this was again? Is it just a coat? No, grayish colored, yeah, coat with flock texture. So you can kind of see that coming through. And I guess I'm still kind of confused on how this works, this flock texture, because usually when I think of flocked, I think of something on like hard plastic. Like if you think of the toys back in the day, in the younger years, for those of you who are around my age, my generation, toys that were flocked had like this like fuzz on, like it's over plastic, it seemed like, right? But this seems like it's a coat, and like the coat's already a material, fabric material, I should say, right? So I don't understand like the flocking and already fabric material, but I don't know, just to make it that much more fuzzy. Yeah, I don't know, to make it, give it that wool appearance, because typically you want to have, like in cold environments, right, people typically wear like wool based clothing because it's warmer. But yeah, so I don't know, just to give the appearance of wool, they flocked it. I'm not sure. Yeah, there was another figure that I talked about in a previous episode of Hot Talk where they did that as, I think it was the one of the drivers. I think it was like an ATRT driver, I believe it was, that had their pants were flocked. So yeah, it seems like Hot Toys are using this more on these troopers. But yeah, I'm not sure how well that works. Let me know in the comments, and again, let others know if you've had experience with this and how that holds up, how that handles, and if you have any issues with it, or on the opposite end, if you like and you enjoy anything, it has like a cool texture and look to it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just curious how that works, though. It's, or how it works in like flocking an already fabric material. But yeah, I mean, either way, I'm not getting it. I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see how that actually works. So, and here he is next to, here's the Snowtrooper next to that Stormtrooper we were just looking at, with the that brownish colored shin guard there, which I kind of like. Actually, I'm kind of digging that, because again, I love figures that have like asymmetrical looks to them, or just character designs in general, or any type of items, art forms, art pieces that just have like asymmetrical looks. I just love that asymmetry throughout them. It makes it different, it makes them stand out, in my opinion. That's just like kind of looks that I go for there. But yeah, Stormtrooper, or Snowtrooper again, sorry, adding to pair with your Stormtrooper if you do have that. Either way, you have options on your Stormtroopers. Oh man, do you have options. And let's see, make sure I didn't have anything else. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got through it. That was another one, another catch-up episode. A couple more to go. One more Star Wars one, because I'm sure you noticed there's some figures that I didn't cover in this one that were announced and or released. So don't worry, there's more coming. As usual, keep it locked on my channel, BZ's Figures. So subscribe if you haven't, to get those notifications. And if not, there's always the my socials, Instagram and Facebook. I post up when I put up videos or when I do lives. I still need I haven't done lives in a minute, but I want to get back to that. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching all of this, or any portion of it, any segment, any section, whatever. If it's just the outro, the intro, either way, I appreciate it. Even if you just popped in for a minute, be like, okay, this is not for me. I still appreciate your time. Thank you for giving me that opportunity and that chance. and any support that you're able to give me is always appreciated. Just, yeah, like I said, keep it locked. Links will be in the description below for anything related, anything that I mentioned before. And with that, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, all. Have a good one. Later.